Thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. It's, really, really valuable of your time. And yeah, I'm really, really appreciative. So thank you so much. I would love you to introduce yourself to your audience. I know that you're a global tech talent sourcing strategy and mapping partner. You're recruiting for some tech industry at the moment, and you've got a terrific presence on LinkedIn at the moment. So thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you for having me. Just a short introduction. My name is Nadine. I'm based in South Africa. And yeah, as you mentioned, I'm a global tech talent sourcer. So I'm trying to find the best tech talent and also the best opportunities for that talent. So yeah, that's basically me.
Fantastic, amazing. I would love to just sort of, get right straight into it. How do you identify talent?
So it really depends on what the client is looking for. So first of all, I would probably get the requirements from the client for what they're looking for, what they need to make their business grow, and obviously how I could be able to assist them with that. And then I go into the sourcing of candidates on various platforms, depending on the type of role, and then kind of like going through the information I can find and thinking about whether they would be a good fit for the role, but also whether that role would be a good fit for their career at this point in time. So yeah, it works both ways. For me, I feel like it's not good to get someone involved in an opportunity if it's not going to at least help their career grow.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, I guess when you've got like a lot of applications in front of you, and I'm sure in South Africa it would be the same globally, and I know in Dubai you've got hundreds of applications for, say, the one or two positions within the company. So, how are you filtering someone, from a global perspective, I guess? How are you filtering your candidates? And then, of course, being able to identify, is it through just a resume that you're screening the talent?
So I haven't been working with direct applicants for quite a while now. So it also really depends on, well, the client again, and what kind of access we have. So my job specifically is to go into, for example, LinkedIn and directly source those candidates. So it's less about the direct applicants and more about going in and finding the right talent. So I would mostly filter them out by the skills that I'm looking for. So for example, if I'm looking on their LinkedIn profile, I will try and find skills within their profile that I think will fit on what the client is looking for, and if they would fit within that job requirement.
Fantastic. So it's like the hidden job market. So, maybe you're sourcing clients who, are available for work, but are not actively applying. Is that correct?
Yes, very passive talent. So it also depends on the market at hand. Like in South Africa, for example, we have a very active market. So a lot of candidates are really willing to chat a lot of the time, even if they are employed, they really would like to know about the opportunities. But like Switzerland, for example, and Sweden, it's a very passive market. So candidates don't really want to chat to you because they feel like they are really happy where they are, and they will tell you they're very happy where they are. So it also depends on the market, but it's very direct sourcing. So it's mostly passive candidates. So it's yeah, the people that are not actively looking for a role, but you think, maybe this might benefit their career at some point.
Fantastic, fantastic. And so are you someone that would say, for example, search for or utilize the open to work, symbol on the LinkedIn? Do you think that that helps, or you would be judging or looking through profiles whether they've got that or not?
I think that it will definitely help at some point in the search, probably at the beginning of the search. So you're targeting the right people, and you know that those people are actually looking. So you're also kind of helping them out with their job search. And then thereafter, after going through those candidates and probably looking at the ones that don't have the open to work. But yeah, it's definitely an added benefit on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I agree. I think especially these days, a lot of clients are saying, I want the talent yesterday. I need it now.
Yes.
Seems to be everyone seems to be hiring urgently. And then of course, it makes it a lot easier to grab those clients who have already said that they're open to work. And then of course, salary negotiations and the whole process becomes a little bit quicker. So, but then on the flip side, I don't know, sometimes it's nice, especially if you're currently employed, if you've got a current employee and you don't really want to be showing that you are available, it can be a
Yeah.
little bit tricky. So apart from the skills, what else are you looking for on someone's LinkedIn? Maybe like, for example, you mentioned senior leadership positions or C-suite, thought content or thought leadership content. Is that something that you're looking at?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I always think that a really updated LinkedIn profile is really beneficial, because even if you add your duties onto your profile, I know a lot of people don't feel comfortable adding a lot of information on their LinkedIn profiles, but it's really an added benefit because it allows us to actually find the specific information that we're looking for. So I feel a really updated LinkedIn profile, adding in your duties, also showing that there is more to you, like in terms of what I'm looking for, like maybe you're a developer, but like on weekends you have other interests because, we're all human, we have a lot of interests and stories to tell. So I think definitely post what you like to do, your passions, and having a very full profile really helps for me to analyze what kind of person you would be and if I think you would be the right fit for that role that we have open.
Absolutely. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but the more content that you've got, the more skill sets, the more likely that you will present on your dashboard in terms of your keyword search. So, when you're
Yes,
typing in skill
definitely.
sets, yeah, you won't say, for example, land on page 12 of your talent dashboard compared to say landing on page 1 or 2 if you've got a really content rich profile. Would you agree?
Definitely, definitely. I think it's very advantageous because especially if your profile is not updated, it puts you in it doesn't help you that much, especially if you're looking for a new job, because especially now, a lot of people prefer to look at your LinkedIn profile to the point where they might not even ask you for your CV if all your information is on your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, I do agree on that front, which, to be honest with you, working on both, I'm recruiting for a couple of companies at the moment, as well as helping job seekers. But I find that sometimes rather than putting every single detail on your LinkedIn profile, you want to entice the recruiter to be picking up the call or to be emailing you to learn more so that then you can engage personally rather than just them reading everything and then clicking no. So I don't know, I guess you could have two different mindsets on that. There's probably no right or
Yeah.
wrong. And I'm
That
conscious.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'm conscious of people having non-disclosed achievements or accomplishments on their LinkedIn because I know it's a public domain. So
Yeah, yeah. I think especially with social media, like you have to also have a bit of discernment on what you do put in on there. So it is good to have so people know you, but then you also need to be very discerning with how exactly you portray yourself on social media.
absolutely. And I think on top of this, personal branding, it's such a big thing these days, especially for your senior type positions, because, from a global perspective, if you're putting out consistent content that you are, a subject matter expert, then you are more likely to be enticed from your side to want to know them as a candidate.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
It's always good to see that there's more to a candidate than just what's on their CV per se.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so in terms of, once you've shortlisted all of your clients, how would you be able to differentiate the skills or the personalities, I guess, into narrowing down it? Because I know tech CVs and tech applications can be quite different compared to, say, someone in an F&B sector. Is it like computer software skills, or what are you looking for specifically within the tech sector?
So within the tech sector, there's a lot of different types of programming languages, a lot of different types of skills that are required. So it gets very technical at certain points where you have to be like, I'm actually not a developer. I'm trying to help you, or I am recruiting your skills, but personally I'm not actually a developer. So like you try to understand as much as you can, because it's also very difficult to recruit for something you don't understand, because you don't know if you are actually helping or not. So it's really great to understand, but there's a lot. It's a very it's like there's a lot of information when it comes to tech skills. There's thousands of different languages and skills and career paths. So it just depends on what you're working on at that time, and what skills they're looking for. And then from that point with the client, you can kind of differentiate. Like, for example, I'm working on 3 roles. One is a front end, back end, and full stack developer, but all of them require a programming language called C# or .NET. And then I would kind of like differentiate them by which side they would work on. Would they be front end, back end, or full stack? So that's like how I would differentiate them at this point. But it varies a lot. It is very dependent on what exactly we're looking for at that time.
Of course, of course. And I think it goes with every application. And I guess it shows that you shouldn't just be having one, elevator pitch or CV or LinkedIn profile. Well, I guess LinkedIn profile, I probably should take that back, because you can't change it. But you shouldn't be having something generic that you use for all of the different applications. You really need to make sure that you're tailoring it. So if you're back end versus front end, you need to show that you can do one quite deeply versus the other, rather than having generic skills. Yeah, and I think it goes on a global scale. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I mean, like I've been sourcing in different countries throughout the year, and having that non-generic profile or CV really would differentiate you and help you stand out, to show that you are an expert at something and not just have a generic profile. So that's definitely an added benefit.
I love it. Great advice. I want to just quickly move on to some interviewing. So, and are you, before I ask, are you part of the interview process? Is that something that you take on?
So from my side, in terms of talent sourcing, I'm not really part of the interview process. So on my side, it's mostly direct sourcing the candidates, reaching out to them, telling them about the opportunity, and getting them interested, or if they're not interested, finding out why, a lot of the data side of it, and then passing them on to the client or the recruiter, and then they would be more part of the interview process.
Yes.
So right now, I used to be a lot in previous roles, but right now I'm not very part of the interview process.
No, that's fine. And probably it might even be more important question, I guess. So communication is obviously something that you have to really have finely tuned, especially because you're reaching out to someone. You need to be focused. And again, not just sending a standard template to every single candidate. I assume that you would be sort of tweaking your messages, which therefore also showcases why, from a job seeker perspective, it's so important that they are doing the same thing when reaching out to someone from talent acquisition or recruitment. Would you agree?
Yes, definitely. Just as they wouldn't like a non-personalized message, it works both ways. I completely agree with you, because from the talent acquisition side, obviously we would need to show candidates that why we're actually interested in their profile, and in their skills, and what we can actually do for them, how we can help them, and why we're looking at their profile. So yeah, it works both ways. As with the generic profile, the generic outreach is also not very beneficial on both sides, because if I, for example, send out a generic outreach, it shows that I'm just looking for numbers, and I'm not looking for someone that has a specific skill set, and I haven't actually seen their skills. So it's very important to personalize it and actually really look at what this person can offer you, and in order to help them as well.
Absolutely. I think I can't stress the importance enough, because I know job seekers get sick and tired of, writing the same messages, 2, 3, maybe even more times, and not hearing anything back. But if they, maybe tweaked it a little bit and showed some consistency on commenting or liking their posts so they get noticed, over time, that's how you can maybe build a bit of a rapport or a relationship. So yeah. I would
say.
love some of your tips and tricks in closing. Unfortunately, I'll have to duck off, but
Oh, no, no worries.
but I would love your, a couple of tips and tricks for the job seekers out there who are trying to maybe attract the attention of someone in TA or HR. And then, of course, any tips for an application that you would see.
So, first of all, your personal brand is everything. So, as a job seeker, especially right now, because everything is online and the global market is so accessible, no matter where you are, your personal brand is really a really good starting point for all job seekers and job applicants out there. It really enables you to grow and to show who you are, even if you're not where you want to be. So it will really help hiring managers and recruiters see how they will be able to assist you in also achieving your goals, as well as being part of their business strategy. So definitely a personal brand is the best place to start for all job seekers. And in terms of applications, if you see something that you really want to apply for and you think that you are 100% fit for this role, it's always really good to look at your profile or your CV that you're going to apply for and show the person that's going to read that application why you're a fit. So as we mentioned earlier, a generic profile or CV will not really help you because the other person may not be able to see what you're trying to tell them. So always be very direct with what you're trying to portray, and yeah, definitely make them see why you're a fit for that role.
Fantastic. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate your time. I know it's valuable. You're a very busy lady, and you are really helping the community and the job seekers. So thank you so much for connecting with me.
Thanks, Trisha. Thank you for having me. It was really a treat chatting to you today.
You are most welcome.